Hello. Today General Hospital will reveal recently, the return of actress Kelly Thiebaud as Britt Westbourne has sent ripples of excitement through the General Hospital, GH, fandom. However, what has really sparked a storm of anticipation and intrigue is the shocking announcement that Cesar Faison, one of GH's most legendary villains, is making his return to the show. The news that Hove, who portrayed Faison for many years, is coming back to the role has left fans in awe and disbelief. After all, Hove had been absent from the show since 2018, leading many to believe that Faison's time on GH had come to an end. But now, with his return confirmed, the fandom is buzzing with excitement and curiosity, eagerly speculating about the dramatic twists and turns that await them. Cesar Faison, the infamous father of Britt Westbourne, is one of the most iconic villains in GH's long history. His brilliance, cunning, and ability to manipulate people's minds and emotions made him a force to be reckoned with. For years, Faison was the dark mastermind behind countless schemes and criminal activities in Port Charles, always one step ahead of his enemies. His obsession with Anna Devane, in particular, set the stage for many of his most sinister and unforgettable moments. Faison's twisted relationships with various characters, including Anna, Luke Spencer, and Sonny Corinthos, made him a terrifying presence, someone whose plans and motivations were always cloaked in mystery and danger. What makes Faison such a compelling and terrifying villain is his intellect. He is not a mere brute, instead, he is a master manipulator, able to control events and people with precision. Over the years, Faison has orchestrated numerous criminal operations, each one more devious than the last. Whether it was his involvement in the abduction of Felicia Scorpio Jones, his dangerous and obsessive pursuit of Anna, or his plots against Sonny and his associates, Faison's ability to pull the strings from the shadows made him a character that viewers loved to hate. When Faison was presumed dead after a boat explosion, many fans thought that would be the end of his reign of terror. However, GH has a way of defying expectations, and the show has cleverly crafted a storyline that hints Faison's death may not have been as final as it seemed. The revelation that Faison survived, and is now poised to make a dramatic return, has electrified the fanbase. Fans who had once accepted his death as part of GH's ever-changing narrative are now left wondering how Faison managed to survive the blast and what he has been planning in the years since. His return comes at a time when the storyline had started to feel a bit stagnant, and his presence promises to shake things up in a big way. The timing of Faison's return couldn't be more perfect. With the show's current plotlines lacking the usual excitement, Faison's arrival brings a wave of fresh intrigue and suspense. Fans are eager to see how this villain will impact the lives of the characters they've come to love. Will he resume his manipulative tactics? Will he form new alliances or rekindle old grudges? What role will Britt play in his schemes, especially given their complicated father-daughter relationship? Faison's return is a golden opportunity for GH to reintroduce the high-stakes drama and tension that has long been a hallmark of the series. But Faison's return isn't just about his villainous role. It also opens the door for some deeply emotional storylines. His relationship with Britt, his daughter, has always been fraught with complexity. Britt's deep-seated hatred and distrust of Faison, mixed with the lingering guilt and confusion surrounding her biological father's legacy, adds a layer of emotional turmoil to her character. Faison, ever the manipulator, will undoubtedly try to pull Britt back into his orbit, whether she wants to be or not. Their dynamic, already charged with past betrayals and unresolved feelings, promises to be one of the most gripping aspects of Faison's return. Moreover, Faison's relationship with Liesl Obrecht adds another fascinating element to his return. Liesl, who is both Britt's mother and Faison's longtime lover, has always had a complex and often tragic relationship with him. Faison's manipulation of Liesl, particularly when it comes to his children, has left lasting scars. The emotional fallout from their past will undoubtedly resurface as Liesl grapples with the return of the man she once loved and the father of her children. Will Liesl fall back into Faison's clutches, or will she finally break free from his influence? Her reactions to Faison's return will undoubtedly be one of the most anticipated aspects of the show. Faison's return to the fold also raises many questions about the bigger picture of GH's narrative. What new schemes is he planning? Is there a larger conspiracy at play that involves not just Britt and Liesel, but also other key players in Port Charles? Given Faison's intellect and manipulative nature, it is likely that he will be behind some new, high-stakes plot that could threaten the very fabric of the show's central families. With characters like Anna, Robert, Jason, and Sonny all potentially facing off against Faison once again, the stage is set for some explosive confrontations. Fans are already abuzz with excitement and speculation. Will Faison's return mark the beginning of a new chapter of terror for Port Charles, or will it serve as the final act in his twisted story? The fact that GH has kept so many details of his return under wraps only adds to the suspense, with fans eager to find out what happens next. One thing is for certain. Faison's return will leave a lasting impact on the characters, and the viewers, who have been captivated by his complex, devious nature for years. As the story unfolds, viewers can expect to see Faison's influence ripple through the lives of everyone around him. His presence will inevitably cause tension, fear, and uncertainty, making General Hospital must-watch TV once again. Whether he will succeed in his quest for power and revenge or fall victim to the combined forces of his enemies remains to be seen, but one thing is for sure, Faison's return will shake Port Charles to its core, reigniting old feuds and setting the stage for a new era of chaos. Fans, who have longed for the return of this iconic villain, can now look forward to watching him make his dramatic comeback in what is sure to be a thrilling chapter in the saga of General Hospital. Cesar Faison's return to General Hospital is not merely the revival of a beloved villain, it is the restoration of a dark and complex legacy that has long been intertwined with some of the show's most iconic characters. With his return, the show promises to bring back the kind of high-stakes drama and psychological tension that fans have been missing. As one of the most formidable and cunning antagonists in GH's long history, Faison's presence on screen immediately adds layers of intrigue, danger, and emotional conflict, leaving viewers eagerly waiting to see how the story will unfold. Cesar Faison, portrayed by Anders Hove, is a character whose very name evokes fear and anticipation. His villainous exploits have made him one of GH's most enduring characters, and his schemes have been responsible for some of the most unforgettable moments in the show's history. From his early days as a mysterious figure in the shadows to his more prominent role as a cold and calculating villain, Faison has always been a master of manipulation, capable of pulling the strings of those around him with alarming precision. His relationship with Anna Devane, in particular, is a defining aspect of his character, blending obsession, betrayal, and intense emotional conflict that has rippled through the show for decades. Faison's manipulation of those around him has left a trail of broken hearts, shattered families, and painful memories, making his return a highly charged moment for the entire GH universe. What makes Faison such a compelling villain is not just his cunning intellect and ruthless ambition, but also his ability to weave himself into the personal lives of those he targets. His actions are never just about power or wealth, they are deeply personal, calculated to hurt his enemies in ways that leave lasting scars. His obsession with Anna, for example, was not just about seeking revenge for perceived slights. It was about controlling her, possessing her, and ultimately breaking her spirit. This dynamic of obsession and control has been central to Faison's character, and with his return, it's clear that he will continue to use his psychological acumen to manipulate those around him. But Faison's return isn't just about rekindling old vendettas. It's about the complex and often tortured relationships he shares with his family. The revelation that Faison is Britt Westbourne's father adds a whole new layer of complexity to his character. Britt, a character who has spent much of her life grappling with her identity and her father's legacy, is now thrust into a dangerous and unpredictable position. Her relationship with Faison has always been fraught with tension, and the return of this manipulative and controlling figure promises to have a profound impact on her life. Will Britt once again fall under her father's spell, or will she fight to break free from his influence? The stakes have never been higher for Britt, and Faison's reappearance complicates her already tumultuous journey. Their father-daughter dynamic is sure to be one of the most compelling aspects of Faison's return. Faison has always had a strange, almost possessive interest in Britt, and the unresolved issues between them will likely come to the forefront as the plot progresses. The tension between Faison's desire to control Britt and her own need to assert her independence will create an emotional battleground that will captivate viewers. On one hand, Faison could once again attempt to draw Britt into his web of deceit, using his manipulative skills to convince her that he is the only one who truly understands her. On the other hand, Britt's growing sense of self-worth and her determination to carve out her own identity might make her resistant to his attempts at control, leading to a dangerous and unpredictable standoff between father and daughter. As if this father-daughter relationship wasn't enough to create tension, there is also the looming threat of Faison's involvement in Britt's battle with Huntington's disease. The revelation that Britt has inherited the gene from Faison raises significant questions about the potential role he might play in her struggle. Could Faison, who is no stranger to medical manipulation, have some kind of cure or treatment for Britt's condition? Would he use this as a bargaining chip to bring Britt back into his fold? The idea that Faison might hold the key to Britt's survival adds a chilling layer to their relationship, as it forces Britt to confront the possibility that her father might offer her a way out of her suffering, but only if she complies with his demands. This moral dilemma, where Britt must choose between her health and her independence, will add a new level of complexity to her character and the overarching storyline. Meanwhile, the return of Faison also brings up unresolved issues with other key characters, including Liesel Albrecht, Britt's mother. Liesel's long history with Faison, full of passion, betrayal, and heartache, creates a potent emotional backdrop for his reappearance. Liesel's bitterness and anger towards Faison have always been a significant part of her character, and with him back in Port Charles, her resentment will undoubtedly bubble to the surface. Her relationship with him has always been tangled in manipulation and control, with Faison using her love for him to further his own agendas. Liesel's reaction to Faison's return will be a powerful emotional driver in the coming episodes, and fans will be eagerly watching to see if she can finally break free from his influence once and for all, or if she will fall back into his manipulative grasp. The emotional complexity of Faison's return goes far beyond his immediate family, however. His presence in Port Charles has always had a ripple effect on the wider community, and this time will be no different. His vendetta against Anna, and by extension, the people closest to her, will put everyone in Port Charles on edge. The alliances Faison forms, the enemies he makes, and the power he seeks will have profound consequences for the central characters of GH. Characters like Jason Morgan, Sonny Corinthos, and Robert Scorpio will once again find themselves entangled in Faison's web of deceit and danger, forcing them to confront their past dealings with him and the unresolved issues that still linger. Faison's return also raises important questions about the larger narrative of General Hospital. Will he remain a shadowy figure, pulling the strings from behind the scenes, or will he rise to the surface as the central antagonist driving the show's action? His presence, combined with his past manipulations and emotional entanglements, promises to reshape the future of Port Charles in ways that no one can predict. The return of this iconic villain is a game-changer for General Hospital, and the audience is in for a wild ride as the story unfolds. Fans are already buzzing with excitement about Faison's return, with social media lighting up with predictions, theories, and speculation about what will happen next. The anticipation is palpable, and the emotional stakes are high. As the plot thickens, the dynamic between Faison and Britt will remain a central point of tension, with each new development leaving fans on the edge of their seats. What Faison's return will ultimately mean for Britt, for Liesel, for Anna, and for the rest of Port Charles is a mystery that only time will reveal, but one thing is certain, it will be a dramatic, high-stakes journey that will have lasting repercussions for everyone involved. In the end, Faison's return isn't just about a villain coming back to wreak havoc, it's about the exploration of family, identity, and the consequences of the choices we make. With his arrival, General Hospital is set to revisit some of its darkest and most intricate storylines, while introducing new twists and revelations that will keep fans hooked for the long haul. Faison's return is more than just a plot twist, it's the beginning of a new chapter that will redefine the future of General Hospital and leave a lasting impact on its characters and its viewers. As Faison continues to build his secretive empire, the ripples of his return are being felt throughout the entire community of Port Charles, shaking long-held secrets and relationships. His dark legacy, built on manipulation and deception, is about to have a significant impact on those who thought they were free of his influence. Two key characters, Liesel Albrecht and Anna Devane, are about to confront the truth of their troubled past with Faison. These confrontations promise to create waves of tension, raw emotion, and complex power struggles that will drive the narrative forward in unexpected and thrilling ways. Liesel Albrecht and Faison share a history that is as tangled as it is toxic. Their connection was never one of pure love or loyalty, it was built on manipulation, control, and unspoken agendas. Liesel, a woman of considerable intellect and strength, was once caught in Faison's web of power, unable to escape the grasp of a man who could twist her emotions and exploit her vulnerabilities. Their relationship was marked by betrayal, lies, and manipulation on both sides, but it was also defined by an undeniable bond, a bond that Faison has never fully let go of. For Liesel, the truth about her past with Faison is a Pandora's box that she never truly closed. She has always been haunted by the choices she made, the things she allowed to happen, and the secrets she's tried to bury. As Faison makes his return, Liesel is forced to reckon with those painful memories and the darkness that still ties her to him. The unveiling of these long-hidden truths promises to put Liesel at odds with the people she cares about, especially Anna. Their strained relationship has always been fraught with tension, but now, as Faison's return forces them both to confront their past, it will push them to the brink. Liesel's own secrets about her relationship with Faison, her involvement in his schemes, and the role she played in many of the tragic events in Port Charles will finally come to light, unraveling years of deception and complicating her standing with Anna and others in the town. For Anna Devane, the return of Faison is a traumatic reminder of the twisted past they share. Anna has always tried to move on from her turbulent history with Faison, but the scars he left on her heart are undeniable. Their past is filled with manipulation, betrayal, and deep emotional wounds, particularly around their shared history with their son, Henrik, Peter August. Anna believed that Faison had disappeared from her life forever, but now that he's back, the emotional weight of their history resurfaces with a vengeance. Anna's struggle with her feelings toward Faison, ranging from hatred to a lingering, unresolved sense of connection, will add layers of complexity to her character. Faison's reappearance will push Anna to confront not only her past but also the decisions she made regarding her son and her relationship with Liesel. As these characters confront their shared history with Faison, the emotional stakes rise. The truth that has been buried for so long is slowly coming to the surface, and the consequences of these revelations will ripple through the fabric of Port Charles. For Britt, this return is not just about Faison's manipulative influence, but also about facing the emotional fallout of her own complex relationship with her father. Britt's discovery of Faison's ongoing presence in her life will force her to question everything she thought she knew about her family, her identity, and her future. The sense of betrayal and loss will be palpable, as Britt is once again forced to reckon with the toxic bond that exists between her and her father. Faison is not simply a villain, he is a symbol of danger, power, and cunning, a man whose actions have consequences that ripple far beyond his immediate circle. His return heralds a new era of challenges, not just for Britt but for every character who has ever crossed his path. His machinations have shaped the destinies of many, and now that he's back, the stakes have never been higher. Faison's influence is like a shadow that stretches across the lives of those in Port Charles, and the consequences of his return will be far-reaching, affecting everyone from Anna and Liesel to Jason, Sonny, and even the town's innocent bystanders. What makes Faison's return so captivating is that it does not just signal the return of a villain, it signals the unraveling of a complicated, multifaceted family dynamic that has long been ignored. The revelations surrounding Faison's past actions, his relationship with his children, and his involvement in the darkest chapters of Port Charles's history will undoubtedly change the course of the show. Each twist and turn of the storyline will force the characters to reevaluate their relationships, their alliances, and their loyalties, pushing them into a new era of conflict and self-discovery. For the fans of General Hospital, Faison's return is more than just an exciting plot development, it's a dramatic reintroduction of everything that made the show great in its prime. It's about emotional complexity, psychological warfare, and family secrets that span generations.